Alright everybody, welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. Today we're going to plant a tree, but we ran into a problem. So if you look down here in my hole, you can see this big old boulder. Now I have obviously decided to dig out my hole a little bit, but there's a big old boulder and it's heavy. Now I believe it may be a chunk of asphalt that was dumped here when they first built the place, I don't know. But what we're going to do, in order to be smarter and not work harder, is I'm going to lift this boulder up using my shovel. You can see I dug out around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it up like so. Fingers under it, hopefully, without smashing them. Lift that bad boy up like so. Toss these. Let me see if I can pick it up. Yeah, probably not. Alright, so let's do this. So then what I've done, you'll notice down here at this end, I've dug it somewhat sloping so I can be smarter and hopefully be able to get it up on this dolly. And then if I can take it like so, push it down, and up and out we come. Much easier than trying to haul it around by hand. Now, come on over here. We're going to set this, I think, where we're going to leave it. Alright, so I think this is where we're going to put it for now. Of course, I can always move it. But I want to set it down and hose it off just to kind of see what I got here. It's heavy. Let's get this out of the way. Hose. So, now that we've hosed it off, you can see, I believe this is actually a chunk of concrete. Maybe asphalt, but I think it's concrete. At any rate, I'm going to probably mess around, move it around a little bit afterwards. But that's really not what this video is about, is it? So we're going to go plant a tree.
The ducks are in the garden.
Huh?
The ducks are in the garden.
Get out. Come on. Get.
Nope. Gotta protect the plants, man. Yep. Yeah, I haven't bothered turning off the camera.
Huh?
I haven't bothered turning off the camera.
Alright, so what we got now, this is a pear tree. Let's do that again. Alright, so what we got now, this is a pear tree that I grew by air layering. And we want to put it down in the hole, and I'll show you some things we want to do first. So, anytime you're getting something out of a pot, go around, press down against the sides to get the plastic to be able to come away from the dirt. And as you can see, my pot is slowly coming apart. Now, if you do it properly, hopefully, it should come out easily. All right. Now see, this is kind of what you want to see. I've got some nice roots all over. All right, so basically they're spreading very nicely. So this plant is thriving. And then we're going to want to set it down to where it's just below the level of the soil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix in some compost. Now this is not finished compost. It's partially finished. A lot of people say that you don't need to put in compost, but I've been doing it here lately and it seems to be working. Now, when you dig it up, you're going to have some grass. Again, it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to put it in. You can take the dirt off, sprinkle it in, and toss the grass, but I'm going to take it. Well, I don't know yet. Either way, I wouldn't worry too much about it as long as it goes down a little bit. The grass will act as organic material and rot down over time, much like the compost I just put in. Now if you're going to put compost in, mix it in. All right. So stir this around. Get it in with the dirt. And I guess I didn't talk about the hole. You want your hole to be about 3 times the size of the plant. That way you got freshly dug dirt that has been loosened so the roots can find a good spot and get out into the surrounding area. Whoops. Alright, so let's see here. There you go. That's just below ground level. So we're going to put it about there. And the purpose for that is, I'll show you here in a little bit, I want a well. So that basically a basin that will collect the water. Alright, and then you look, you see right down here, see where I'm starting to get roots right there? So that's the top of the root ball. So that's about where I want the level of the dirt directly on the plant to be. And then we're just going to start shoveling dirt. Okay, so when you go to raking up dirt out of grass, it's difficult sometimes to get it all up. But keep in mind, the grass will grow through the dirt. So this is also a good time to level out that area if you want. And then what I do is I take my rake, just kind of pull it away. Down to that original level we was talking about. And if your dirt that you have in the pot is darker than the dirt around it, it makes it easier when you're raking. You can really see where that level is that you put the tree at. Now keep in mind, this will sink some. You see I'm down to about the level where it originally was. Now this tree, I didn't pay for. I got this tree by doing the air layering technique, which I'll link the video. It shows you how I got this tree. Now I know right now it looks like a stick, but we have had a couple of freezes. And it is very chilly out still, so it hasn't started growing back yet. I'm sure it will eventually. And I like to make it round, so pack it down a little bit. So I'll take and kind of make myself a little berm. And over time, this will slowly dissipate and go away. Especially since my non-specific mowing skills sometimes mows it down. And this being a pear tree, the one behind me is a pear tree, and you can see it's growing with grass all around it. Seems to be doing quite fine. So it's not something that you have to keep mulched in. And in fact, I saw a video way back, oh gosh, a couple years ago, and they were talking about the pear tree they had, and they seemed to think that it did better without being fertilized and composted and all that. Well, I think they did fertilizer, but they didn't mulch it in. And then when I was a kid back in Kansas, a lot of people would tell you not to mulch your trees because it created a situation where the roots tended to be up higher in the dirt and not giving it that good solid anchor. And then when you had a really good solid wind come through, it could end up actually causing the tree to fall over easy. All right, so once again, you see we're back down to that level. One of the things you don't want to do is pack up a bunch of stuff, whether it be dirt, compost, mulch, whatever the case may be, up against that first couple inches of tree, because that can cause it to rot, and if it rots, it'll die. All right, and then you water it in. Now, I will water this at least once to twice a week, depending on the rainfall. And a lot of people will tell you you need this amount of water, you need that amount of water. This is why I usually build the dam, or the well, so to speak, around the tree. I will just put enough water in to fill that reservoir up. Well, it's not quite full, but it should be good enough. We'll let that go. And that, my friends, is how you plant a tree. Now, why should you plant a tree? All right, so a lot of people will tell you, especially about pears, the old saying is you plant pears for your heirs. So one day the kid behind the camera here, not a kid, the adult behind the camera here, will inherit this property, or at least a piece of this property. And by then, hopefully we'll have a full-scale production pear tree that's actually providing a lot of pears. The tree you see behind you was about that size when I planted it in the ground here about 4 years ago. And you can see the trunk is big enough I can't get my fingers around it anymore. All right, it's a good size, you know, probably, oh, I don't know what, maybe 3 inches at the base, maybe 2. But it's getting stronger every year. We have had a few pears, but not really a good harvest. So it might take 5 to 10 years for a pear tree. But that's one of the reasons I'm wanting this one, is so that hopefully they'll pollinate each other and up the production of pears. So we'll see how that works. They are the exact same tree because this is a clone of that one, which I got through air layering, which again, I will link and show you how that's done. It's a fairly easy process, just takes time, and it gives you a nice healthy tree. All right, so that's how I go about planting trees in my house. Everything here was totally free, nothing cost me a dime, and that's the beauty of it all. All right, so thanks once again for stopping by. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think.